Welcome back. You're watching Want to Play Darth Mod Ottoman Empire. If you're here, you obviously enjoyed the first episode. If you didn't, I beg the question, why are you still here? So, as you would have seen from the last episode, which I didn't mention, we allied with Sweden and we declined an alliance with Martha. So Westphalia is gone from the start of this game. France took them over, as you can see, and because of that, we're going to trade with them. Job's a good one. Again, I'll usually go through just the diplomatic scene to see if we can broker any more deals. It's very unlikely. But yeah, on the Darth mod, it's strange how the Italian states becomes a protectorate of Dagestan. Just makes my life even harder. So we're at war with Persia still. I know they've got an army coming to us, so we are going to build up our strength. And I know I said at the very beginning, I don't usually fight battles personally, so if you did want to see actual battles being fought, this probably isn't the series for you. However, in this episode, spoiler alert, there is a battle which I just went for it really, mainly because I didn't want to lose too many units, and I knew it would sort of hopefully be the beckoning of Persia. So that is to come later on. So I've now built up a naval fleet. It's very good to have to make use of the notifications that come at the start of every turn, to go through all the units and again all the buildings, etc., etc. So the plan is still, again, we've secured our western front and we are going to look east to expand and destroy our enemies. Again, our minister's looking very good. We've got every turn a new minister will spawn, so it's definitely worth checking out very quickly if it's worth employing him in our government. This chap looks like it's pretty handy, so we're going to have to get rid of somebody and drop him in. As so. And again, actually, he is very useful because he actually gives a lot of bonus for diplomatic relations, so he does cancel out, more or less, Mufasa. His foreign policy is not very good, so having a head of government who is switched on and is well liked and received does help in brokering trade deals and alliances, etc. So it does help as well that I've played this quite a bit. That again, as I said, I don't really want to fight too many battles if I can avoid it personally. Again, I've set the difficulty on very, very hard. So knowing the different unit types, and again, you see me assessing what armies I'm going to have to face or I'm going to be against and try and match units that are going to be good for those scenarios. So again, it is actually beneficial if you are attacking or besieging, especially to actually have melee units, because you're going to have to get up those walls potentially and take on the enemy hand to hand rather than having guns. So it's all very useful to have. Again, the Octane gun is a very incredibly good gun to have for the Ottomans, but there's no counter shot. I'm good at it anyway, so it's irrelevant. I didn't realise on the Darth mod you're only allowed 2 of them. I think on the normal Empire you can have as many as you want, but on Darth mod it only limits you to 2. So when you fight naval battles as well, it's always worthwhile having an admiral. Again, I really, I don't particularly enjoy having to fight battles personally. Army-wise, doing it Navy, yeah, I really don't have time for that. Nor do you. So it's all worth building up your Navy, an admiral's stats and traits, so you lose less ships, you can take out bigger fleets, and just generally win more battles for you. As I mentioned previously, I always leave just the worst unit you can possibly recruit in more or less every port, and that is to stop enemy ships going in, landing troops, and generally just disrupting trade, trying to minimise that at all costs. So we'll be honest here, I did suss out, I've always wanted to take Malta off the Knights of St. John. It would just be strategically a great great spot to have in the Mediterranean, hence why the British owned it for a very, very, very long time, and it's still closely tied with Britain now. Again, I do sometimes go through turns and just play out, I'll save it before and play out certain situations, see if it's worthwhile or not. So I did that with seeing if it was worthwhile taking out Knights of St. John, but in this scenario it wasn't. So I will just leave my troops there as is, although it's quite a major cost. So as mentioned, you can build really good horsemen in Bulgaria once you upgrade to a military barracks. Again, a little tip. Again, it's same in Armenia. You can build Armenian bowmen, which can deploy spikes. This is very, very good against cavalry, surprisingly. So I'm still really at the stage of building up. All I want to do is just sit tight, build up. I'm happy to seed land, which I did at the very start, if you remember, and really I'm just sort of waiting. I mean, Ottomans do start in a really precarious position where you're on the back foot immediately with not much of an army. You're not very friendly. You've got Mufasa II running the show, who no one likes. And again, as mentioned, I've seen other streamers who've gone to 1715 and give up on the Ottomans, and we actually want to get a bit further than that. So all the music as well, just to note, is actually from the Darth mod add-in. Nothing, it's all here is original. It should be in, if you're wondering where I get that from. So, like I did there, I've had some ships, they're not really doing anything. So, there is a trade link there with Persia, who I'm at war with, so it's worthwhile actually using them to some extent and just raiding their trade. Again, I'm going to try and be speedy with my turns. Again, I'm only going to show you what's worthwhile, but at the same time, this episode actually drags on a bit longer than I'd like it to be. However, hopefully it's worthwhile. I mean, again, leave your opinion in the comments. I can always make them shorter or cut things out. Yeah, there we go. France has taken out Westphalia. Thanks for coming. Yeah, Georgia as well, so nice little army down here to Mesopotamia. I'm actually in a bit of a tricky spot. They've got a big old army there, Persia, and Georgia's right on my heels. And I really don't have very many units there. So I sent that unit up towards Belarus, mainly just to piss off Poland and the Russians and do a bit of scouting. Again, I'm not really going to do much towards Russia and Moscow because I'm just not going to have the manpower nor resources to be able to take them on head. So really, if anything, I'm just trying to protect Crimea at the moment. And as you remember, Poland did have an army which was going on Moldova, but as predicted, Austria did exert some pressure and they had to retreat. Well, they must have done. I don't know. Yeah, Persia have got a pretty big army there. I'm slightly worried about it. So I was lucky at the start that I actually outgunned, navally outgunned Persia, which means I can actually trade from that port. I've done it before where they've had the upper hand and it does restrict your trade with India. So I was a bit worried about Georgia coming down there, so I think I'd rather save the money rather than go to waste and cancel that plantation. Again, I'm actually earning a decent amount per turn, so which you can do from the start. So it's really just worth investing in, building up your military, sitting tight, and increasing your buildings. You'll notice, well, I haven't upgraded any of the cultural buildings, really, bar the palaces. And that's mainly because there is a ultrism, is it ultrism in the Enlightenment technology? It does decrease the cost of cultural buildings, so I thought I might as well save some money and wait till it's worthwhile. Really quite spoilt for choice at the moment, with not knowing where to spend the money. But as mentioned, if you control the sea, you control the world. Trade is very important in this game. And as you would remember, if you do remember, from the start I did send a navy off to go to the Ivory Coast, so our merchants can trade ivory. It all helps. So the Ottomans as well, in different provinces you can build different units, so it is at times worth upgrading the barracks. For example, in Palestine, Jerusalem, you can build a special type of militia. I think it's Palestinian militia, and they do have very high morale. It's quite known, if you've played this before, that the Ottomans, their standard line infantry equivalent, have got a morale of 4, which is not very good, so they're going to run away when under pressure, whereas other units who've got higher morale will actually stay there and suck it up, which is what you want. You don't want them retreating and just dying unnecessarily. Yes, I don't know why the Mughals are allied with Poland. Real backstab to me. So during the end of that turn, as I mentioned before, Persia did send that army to attack Mesopotamia, and I thought it was worthwhile to actually fight this one personally. Again, hopefully this will be one of the few I have to do. Again, if you do want to see more of the battles being fought manually, let me know. I'm more or less happy to crack on with the actual campaign. So it is rather annoying that you don't start with canister shot, but I do quite like on Darth mod how they give you mortars as a sort of standard to defend. Better than just having crummy citizens with peasants with a few guns. It's such a rabble. But you can see at the start of the game, your morale on most units and even the enemies is pretty poor. So as soon as they get shot at, they do tend to just run away. I've done a bit of multiplayer battles against other players. It's not a bad way to play. It is quite fun. I really would love if they had a campaign mode, multiplayer campaign mode. Again, they'd have to make an Empire Total War 2 for that to happen. And I guess the problem is people do like fighting battles manually, and if you did have a multiplayer campaign, you definitely have to auto resolve everything. So it comes down to a bit more luck and tactics, which I quite like personally. There's a lot of smoke, which I like about the Darth mod. Again, they've done very good work on this. Those Kurdish militia are so good. I mean, having 50 accuracy and a better reload speed is just so good at this stage of the game. I mean, it's just a kill zone right there. I mean, again, I'm playing the Battle Division very hard, but they still just run in. I mean, granted they've got melee units, but and it's up a hill. It does look pretty messy. it's just a kill zone. Oh my goodness. That's right, a slight little tactical retreat while sending in the swordsman. You should be wary as well of friendly fire and as well how exhausted troops become. It does make a big difference. I'm always surprised how much of a difference it makes when you've got fresh troops versus tired troops. But this is what I mean, they're retreating because they've got 4 morale. And, well, I mean, that's right, we need you right there in the middle, holding fire. It's pathetic. But anyway, I think I'll leave you here for this episode. Again, you can watch the rest of the battle. Or again, I will see you next time for episode 3 in the campaign. All the best.